The following is the extract of a course linked in the description.
All right, guys, this is Krishna. In this video, what I'm going to show you, we're going to step out a little bit from FL Studio and I'm going to cover some of the plugins that I recommend for you guys. First of all, there is an argument that you don't actually need a plugin. FL Studio, whatever you decide to use, but because I'm doing this course on FL Studio, comes actually with quite a few demos over here, and a lot of the demos that are provided here are just made with sound that comes with FL Studio. There is a little war online, some on the forums, at least back in the days, that some people were saying the sound that came with FL Studio weren't really professional. And it really depends, right? Because some of those songs that come out in the database are really good, but I think you need to work the sound a little bit more. And at some point as well, you might just be like, you know what, I just want to explore something else, right? So this is what I'm gonna recommend for you. Number one is gonna be Arturia. So with Arturia, they have a bundle that is called the V Collection 8. It's at the 8 iteration, and I really love those plugins. I really love what Arturia is doing. The keyboard, that's one of the keyboard. The keyboard that I'm using right now is Arturia. Really nice, really well designed, works really well, no problem there. And the same thing gets translated as well with their software estimate with their plugins. So you have basically a great combination here of vintage software. I believe it's about 28 plugins that they have bundled over here. So basically, it's you have quite a bit of. I like the Juno 6, the Jupiter 8 as well. You have a great selection over here, and you can go several days and you're still gonna find new sound. Another thing that I really like that what they do, especially like with analog A, so when you buy the V collection, it comes with the analog 8, and the analog 8 is basically your command center, if I could call it. So all the sounds that you have in the individual plugins, you have them in the analog 8. So you can just start with the analog 8 and you can have access to all those sounds. The only thing with that is because it's basically a big collection of sounds. Analog 8, I find it can be a little bit it can be a little bit hard on the resources, if I want to say it that way, right? But definitely great to use. So this is the number one thing that I would recommend for you, V Collection 8, and we're gonna talk a little bit later on what when I would recommend maybe to buy it, where to buy it, but this is one thing that I would recommend. So that is the collection 8 over here. I'm not gonna go into the details. You can definitely have a look at it yourself. Actually, the next one that I wanna check out is still Arturia, and this is for the FX. So with the software instrument, you actually have the software, the actual software instrument that you can use to generate sound, but you can also use different type of software instrument that are actually software effects that you can use to process sound. So I'm talking about reverb, echoes, delays, compressors, that kind of thing. So you have the instrument to generate sound and you have the effects to work on the sound. So Arturia provide you with effects as well that you can definitely use, and the selection as well that they have is great. Is every song that I have, every song that I make, I just use. Especially I have a couple that I usually go to that I use all the time. But the collection is definitely great. So it's gonna cover you for filters, preamp if you need it, compressors. The one that I use a lot of the time. Where is it? This one, the ComVC. the VCA 65 and the FET 76. I usually those are my favorite. I just like the way they work. It's really great. And you have some reverbs over here as well, delays. It just really covers everything that you will need, at least the basics, right? For every song, for the basics, this is what you're gonna need. Then if you want to go a little bit experimental, you have like some other sound or some other things that you can get. But the reason why I really like Arturia, especially for the plugin, is the design is well done. It's really intuitive, and as well, if you're just a beginner, they have a section there that's really an added bonus. That's a little bit like a tutorial that they walk you through how to use their plugins. I haven't really seen another company actually do it like they do it. So it's definitely great. I've been talking about it for the last 5 minutes just to let you know. If you don't get Arturia, you're definitely missing out. All right. So, and the reason why I actually recommend the bundles, right, is because with the bundles is first of all you're saving money. It's gonna be way cheaper than if you went ahead. So you see over here is 399 for the whole collection, and the whole collection is basically all those sounds that all those software instruments that you're seeing here, except I know as of now I know this one is not included, and this one was released not too long ago, but it's not included the uh, in the FX collection too, right? But you see over here we're at 400. If we already just do this, so 100, 200, 300, 400, right? If we had to purchase them one by one, it will be way expensive than just getting the bundle, right? So you have that, but as well, because it's part of the same designer, they have a little bit of the same philosophy when you approach them. So it's a lot easier once you know one plugin. It's easy to get to know another plugin. So you basically saving time, and that's why I recommend a lot of the bundles. When you're getting them, you're getting great value out of it. So enough about Arturia. We're gonna probably come back to that. Another one that I'm gonna recommend is gonna be the Korg collection. And Korg is actually a Japanese company. They're making they're making synthesizer. Um, but their synthesizers were really used a lot during the 80s, during the 90s, uh, early 2000. Not sure if you're familiar with the Neptunes, Pharrell Williams, even Timbaland. Those were some of the synthesizer that they were using back in the days, right? And they're still really relevant. Their sound is still good, and you have now this collection over here that you can use as well, right? Some of those synthesizer here, just one of them will be 5,000, but over here for I believe can't remember. I think so. It's around 300,000, not 300,000, around 300. The price of it. Let me just have a look here, if I can see the price really quickly. Yeah, 399 as well, right? So definitely a great value as well that you're getting here. Okay, so when we move up here for the next one that I have another plugin that I have. So this one over here, those are software instrument. So this one is software instrument, the V collection 8. This one is software effects, the collection 2, and this one is another software instrument as well, right? Over here we have another kind of bundle. This is uh, the IK multimedia, right? So T-Rex 5, they have different type of. So if I go to products, I go to software, I go to T-Rex, you're gonna see over here they have different set. So they have the SC, the Deluxe, the Max. What I'm looking at right now is the Max because that's the one that basically include everything at the same time, right? All those plugins. So you're gonna see over here, you're gonna see the selection of all of them. Um, Actually, if you're getting the FX collection too, it's there is a less reason for you to get the T-Rex 5, but me personally as well over here, there is some that I use basically all the time, especially like the EQ73 over here. This is something that I use all the time when I make some, and at the same time as well, you can and the thing with all those over here that I just mentioned, you can definitely try them out, which is great, right? And it's, at the end is how you feel about the plugin. It could be that whatever FS Studio is already providing you works well for you. You don't need to go and buy anything else, right? Me personally, especially like the compressor, some of the compressors that come with FS Studio, up to this day, I still have a really hard time to understand. I mean, I understand what they're supposed to do, I understand how to get there, but I just don't, I don't like the way they approached it, right? I prefer the way some of those other ones have actually approached it. And a lot of those bundles, actually, a lot of those software instruments, they actually recreate some of the, and I kind of mentioned a little bit earlier, they recreate some of the physical hardware, right? So the way why they recreate is because that hardware, most of the time, it was basically used in 90% of the songs during a certain era, right? So it's been proven, battle tested, and they're like, what, this is a good point for this is a good hardware for us to replicate and to provide the virtual instrument. So that's what we have here, and most of them, some of them you're gonna see over here, like the Black 76 limiting amplifier over here. This is a compressor. they're gonna they're gonna overlap with some of the ones that we have over here, which is this one. So it's basically the same thing, but they have approached it a different way. Okay, but you see it's over here 76, that's the same one that we're having over here. Okay, so that's another one that I recommend. It does cover some good uh, hardware replication. But the thing as well is you're gonna have a lot of things over here that you will need basically in every song. So reverb, echoes, delays, compressors, everything is here for you, right? So whatever you need is gonna be here. So this is what I'm gonna recommend after the Arturia Korg is gonna be the IK multimedia over here. The next one I'm gonna talk about is a little bit of a wild card. Okay, so hear me out over here. Reason, they renamed it to Reason Studio. He was Reason for a long time. I think the Reason Studio they only did it for maybe the last 2 3 years or something along those lines. The thing with Reason was actually, and it is probably still. But I would say not a lot of people actually use it nowadays. Uh, Especially way back in the days, in the early 2000. So 2000, 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004. Reason was going head to head with FS Studio, right? So you had war like online. People were like, "Yeah, no, FS Studio is better than Reason, and Reason is better than FS Studio." Now FS Studio has just exploded. A lot more people just use it now. Reason has had a lot of I'm not renting here, but it hasn't evolved the way it was supposed to. People were asking for some features, and the the developers or the main people in charge of Reason, they had their thought of how, they had their vision of how reason should be, and anything that people were saying, they weren't taking that into account. After a while, when people realized, what, whatever we're asking, reason is not incorporating that in the software, some other digital workstation are actually doing it, let me switch, right? So that's what happened. I think they noticed that a lot of people weren't using their software as it was in the past, And basically, what they decided to do is to make a version that is a plugin. So you can use it actually as like a normal um, digital workstation. It's gonna be you're gonna be able to lay it out your ideas here, break down samples and all the stuff. Or you can also just bring it on. So in FL Studio, you can actually bring it on as a plugin, right? Wait, why is it saying that? Oh, okay. Let me just one second. I think I clicked on the wrong one. Give me 1 second. So I'm supposed to go with is it this one? Here we go. So you can actually bring it on here as uh, an instrument, right? So you don't have the part at the bottom there that dares you to map because I'm at their workflow. I don't really like the workflow, and as well there was a lot of stuff with a lot of feature that they did not include. But you know, FS Studio has always been there updating, and it's really seamless for me. I really like the flow that they have. So yeah, it's a wild card. I like Reason. I mean, the principle of Reason because it was coming. It's basically a set of virtual instrument as well that you have. But it's a little bit in the box. So you have like several instruments that you can plug. You can call in. Available here as well. One of the things, especially back in the days, was Reason out of the box, the sound. I think a lot of people were saying that, and myself as well. I did notice it was the sound coming, from Reason out of the box seemed a lot better than what was coming from FL Studio, right? But with both of them, you can definitely make, the same kind of music, but that is something there that you have as well available. They have instrument, they have FX as well that you have here, a good set of FX that you have available, and they have some players that makes you that modify your MIDI a little bit. So an example like this one over here, it allows you to only play one note on your keyboard, but it's gonna play chords. So it allows you to make those kind of switches there, right? So it's kind of play there. So this is Reason is a little bit of a wild card, and lately as well, just so you know, they released Reason 12, but when they released it, it seems like a lot of people were having issues with the software. So I don't know what they're doing. I don't know what's going on there, but they missing in polishing whatever they're doing compared to what Arturia would be bringing out, right? But it's still a good set of plugins, a good set of effects and instrument, and because now you can bring in into any other digital workstation, whether it is FL Studio, whether it is uh, Logic or Pro Tools. I think it's a nice add-on, but you need to keep that in mind when you're purchasing the software, right? So as far as where you could get them, the websites themselves, where you get them, where you the main website of those digital workstation, you could buy it there. Another one that is pretty good, a good website where you can actually buy those would be Plugin Boutique over here. So with Plugin Boutique, you have basically a good set of collection of plugins over here. And usually what they do is when you buy a plugin, they actually give you a couple other plugins as an added bonus, right? And the other thing as well is they always tend to have sometimes some promotion, some discounts. So this is something that you might just maybe trying to come have a look, maybe open an account, get some of the free stuff, get on their list, and when they announce something, you can have a look at it. I would probably recommend not to go at that. Beside those ones that I bought over here, I haven't actually bought anything else, because most of the time, like everything, the thing that you're gonna buy here is gonna cover 99.9% of VFX that you will need, right? So, but sometimes it could be that I'm seeing something new. I like the way the way they approach the plugin. Maybe I'm gonna like the sound. I'm gonna try it first, and then if I really like it, I could buy it. But I haven't really done it beside the ones that I had here, right? So the other one as well that I want to point out is gonna be Splice. So Splice, this is a software. This is a website. They actually their main stuff is giving you sample packs. So you're gonna have, if I go over here to browse the catalog, you're gonna have packs that provide you with sound. So if I go to this one over here, I'm not logged in. I'm not logged in on this one, but you can have over here. I'll just keep holding on. So you're gonna have over here basically just a setup. So on this one pack, you have about 205 samples that you can just browse, and they copyright free. If you like a sample, you can like download it and start using it in your song. And we're gonna have a look at it, right? But the other thing that they offer, if I go back to the very beginning here, is they have a section where you can actually buy some plugins. And the nice thing with Splice is they have something that is called rent to own. So with the rent to own, and you can come up here and see um, all the rent to own plugins collection that they have. What is good with that is basically you can start, such as the Korg that I was mentioning there, right? So you could come up here, you pay 15.99 a month. You're gonna pay for 25 months. When you're gonna be done for the 25-month payment, now the plugin is now yours, right? You paid it out of upfront, and there is no interest. They're not charge you anything more than that. The only thing that we need to charge would be the plan of Splice that gives you access to the sound, but it also gives you access to doing the rental one for plugins, right? So that is a nice one over here. In case, because you're seeing the prices of those like 5.99, 4.99, 3.99. Maybe you find it's too much to just pay all at once. You can come up here, pay it off slowly, slowly, slowly until you paid it off all together. If you decide to stop it, right, you're not gonna be able to use the plugin anymore until you restart it and complete the payment, right? But they have a good selection over here of rent to own plugins. Like I mentioned, they have the Arturia, the Korg. They have a couple more over here. The RC20, that's another one that some people use a lot. Isotop as well is another popular one as well. So they definitely have a good selection there. Okay. So that's really what I recommend here. When you should buy it, if you ready to buy at any point, go ahead and get it. Usually during Black Friday, so end of November or even December, they usually run some really great promotion, right? Maybe you could buy one now, and another one you could wait until maybe Black Friday or Christmas promotion to buy a new set, right? And those promotion, it really depends. It's all across the board. I've seen 50%, I've seen 80%, I've seen 90%. There is some great deal at that point. Okay. In case you feel like you want to explore a little bit more, this is good. Maybe you already have those. I would probably say just come up here to any just on Google and just type plugin bundle, or you could type best, if you're looking for a reverb, best reverb plugin. that kind of thing, and you're gonna see a list, and you can just have a look at them. Go ahead. I would recommend, especially if they have a way to download them and try them out, a demo, that would be great. Sometimes as well they provide samples, sound samples, to see how, what would be the samples included in the software instruments, or how that plugin is processing the sound. If you like it, then go ahead. But yeah, this is what I would recommend. So those were my selection: the Arturia, the Korg, IK Multimedia, Reason, which is a little bit of a wild card, and Plugin Boutique. This is where you can get it as well. Splice, they have rent to own, a good nice selection there, and you can always explore more by going on Google, typing plugin bundle, best plugin of best compressor plugin, to have more. So that's what I had for you on this video. Guys, if you enjoy the content, share, like, and subscribe to the channel. I also wanted to let you know about my free mastering mini course that's going to be available there in the description. You're also going to get with that free banger drums kit, right, with some crazy samples. Basically, you're going to be able to make some crazy drum patterns. Okay, so the link is going to be in the description. It's going to let you know how you're going to have access to it, and I will talk to you in another video.